What is up? Today we're going to be going over the gear sets review for free update 1.2 conflict of the division. We're going to be going over the pros and cons, what role they should play, the new gear sets versus the old gear sets, what I think about how they did the new ones, and everything like that. Let's dive right in. This is going to be the first gear set we're going to cover, Hunter's Faith. The first set bonus is plus 20% marksman rifle critical hit damage. The third set bonus is plus 20% damage to elites. The fourth gear set bonus is hitting the enemy with a bullet grants you temporary armor. The further you're shot, the more armor. The armor disappears after one bullet hits you. So let's just do a quick overview. The first skill is for snipers. The second skill is for snipers / DPS. The third skill in my mind would be more of a tank role. I overall call this role a shit fest. It's a sniper, it's a DPS, it's a tank. It's a lone wolf character role. It's lone wolf just like Path of the Nomad was lone wolf. There's no direct correlation to what you should be doing. There's not a sniper role, there's not a DPS role, there's not a tank role. The first two can be sniper or DPS. The last one reminds you more of a tank, but only taking one bullet to drop it, what the hell is the point? I mean, sure, when you hit the enemy, you get armor, but then when you re-hit the enemy, you get armor. So I don't see the point. I mean, I guess if you're trading shots, this would be a perfect tank talent. Because as you're trading shots, you just keep getting armor buff. So tanks would excel with this. So this is kind of like a lone wolf tank class. I would recommend this being more of a tank, just because the last ability, when you hit an enemy, you get temporary armor. So even if you're just shooting back and forth, that armor should be proccing 24/7, just giving you extra armor, period. The further the shot, the more armor you get. They haven't released the armor stats for this. They probably never will. I'm going to assume that whether you're 5 feet or 100 feet away, it's not going to be a huge, considerable difference from everything I've seen them do and everything. I don't think it will be that much. So overall, I think this gear set is more towards tanking / DPS than it is a marksman rifle gear set. Now we're going to go over final measure. 2 sets of this will give you plus 50% exotic damage variance, which is a joke. 15% protection from elites, which is amazing. And then this is a talent. When damaging a hostile with a grenade, gain the defuse buff. When in range of a hostile grenade, so if it's going to hit you, the buff is consumed, diffuses the grenade that would blow you up, and gives you a grenade. I don't know where they were coming from this talent. They did release that this will block mortar shots from clear size from the SAM turret, and this will block the APC's huge-ass mortar thing, and defuse it. The only problem is, people playing this gear set, we've been taught in this game that grenades are bad. Don't sit in the red circles, period. So the only problem with this is you have to change your gear style, your play style completely, and the next incursion won't have this. So you have to break your old playing style, get out of the grenades. Now you have to get into grenades. And now, with the next incursion, you don't have to get out of the grenades again. I don't know why they introduced such a game-changing talent when it's just going to change in a few months. There's no point. I do see this gear set being good for a tank mainly, because you have the damage resilience, you have the protection from elites. You have the final measure, so if someone's like down, you can sit there and revive them, and if a grenade hits you, if one grenade hits you, you're fine. 2 grenades hit you, run like a bitch, because you don't get fucked. So, this is definitely what I'm imagining as the tank build in this game. Now we're going to be going over Predator's Mark. The first set bonus is going to be plus 20% optimal range. The third set bonuses are going to be plus 800 assault rifle damage and plus 700 pistol damage. The fourth set bonus is going to be hit 10 shots without switching the target to make the target bleed for 100% of damage already done by those bullets. So basically, the 10 shots you hit on them, they don't bleed 100% of that. Bleeds usually lasts 3 to 4 seconds, so they'll probably bleed around 100,000 damage a second, which is a lot of damage, since 10 bullets is around 100,000 plus damage, if we're interpreting the talent correctly. This talent is more of a, I don't know how to put it, it's more of a DPS role, because you've got the 20% optimal range, which means you can hit a little bit further for DPS. You got the assault rifle and pistol damage, which means you're doing extra damage. Then you've got just this wonderful talent, which for pure bosses will be insane. However, if Clear Skies tries and goes the way that Falcon Incursion goes, and gives you an APC which you can't do damage to, I don't see this talent being very useful in the Incursion, and it's going to really be sad because this talent's amazing to kill a boss with regular HP. It's going to melt bosses in Russian Consulate, Warren Power Plant, Madison Square, Madison Medical Hospital, whatever you want to call it. It's going to melt bosses. The problem is, if the new Incursion has the same boss as the old Incursion, which can't take physical damage, this goes pointless. By the time, yes, when you're hitting a target, it's going to take more than 10 bullets. But by the time you kill the target, you don't be going through a whole clip. Sure, that may come into effect, but you still take a few seconds to let off the trigger. So, unless there's a boss inside of it, I don't see this talent being super useful, except for outside of the Incursion realms, such as Dark Zone versus PvP, even PvE, missions, challenge missions, and everything like that. The next gear set is called Lone Star. The first bonus will give you 100% ammo capacity, which is brilliant. The second bonus is going to give you plus 1,000 shotgun and LMG damage. So you can already tell you should probably be using shotguns and LMG with the Lone Star. And then the talent, which I can arguably say is probably the best talent besides Predator's Mask, is the Lone Star talent. When the weapon is holstered, it regains full ammo. So in layman terms, not trying to fancy it up like they did, it auto reloads. That's all it does. Now, if you're running an LMG shotgun, they are the two slowest reloading weapons in the game. So being able to just holster the LMG, bring out the shotgun, and keep going back and forth is going to be amazing. You're going to do so much damage, period. The 100 ammo capacity is going to just boost you up. So I see people doing like 200 ammo capacity with like barely any armor, but just fucking sitting there for hours on end just firing at a boss. Because with 200 damage, with 200 ammo, you're going to be at like, let's see, 100 I'm at 1,000, so another 100 to that, I'll be at like 2,000 ammo. So you'll just be able to sit there and bust the fucking cap. And LMGs take a lot of ammo, so you don't be able to do a shit ton of damage. I can see DPS characters using this build, not just only with LMGs and shotguns. I see submachine guns, assault rifle, just because the talent itself is worth it. Being able to just holster your assault rifle, bring out your SMG, holster SMG, bring out your assault rifle, and not have to worry about the reloading phase. Will take a little bit to get used to, but it's going to make the DPS people do so much more damage so much faster. It's just going to be brilliant. It's a really good talent. It's really simplistic, which I don't like too much. Alright guys, so this is going to be the end of the video. So just an overview. The way the developers talked, I think that Falcon Lost and Clear Skies gear sets should be flipped. They talked about how they wanted to be defined roles and everything. And Falcon Lost versus Clear Skies, I don't see that. I see Falcon Lost having clear defined gear sets with Strikers as DPS, Path of Nomad as a Lone Wolf, Tactician's Authority as a tank, Sentry's Call as a sniper / DPS. And then you go to Clear Skies, which has Hunter's Faith, which should be switched to Final Measures for the talent, because Hunter's Faith has a tanking talent, and Final Measures just has a grenade talent. Like, what the fuck? That's not a tank. Tanks don't use grenades. They use the armor. Why does Hunter's Faith have an armor talent, and a motherfucking tank has a grenade talent? That makes no fucking sense, Division. You have Lone Star, which is trying to push you into LMGs / shotguns, because they're not being used very often, because the shotguns are shit. And when you holster the weapon, it auto-reloads. Okay, that's nice for LMGs and shotguns and everything, but why couldn't you give us a 10% chance to not consume ammo upon auto-load? Just give us a little extra something. Predator's Mask, which like I said could be fucking worthless if the end boss can't take physical bullet damage. What the hell is the point of having a talent that you have to hit someone with for it to take effect? And with a non-targeting system game where you just point and aim, which is your only targeting, if a board goes astray and hits another enemy, which can happen quite a bit, everyone knows it can, the fucking talent doesn't perk. Like, what the fuck, guys? Just do like 10 consecutive hits on targets, does a bleed. Don't make it so if you switch targets or if like a bullet hits another target, you're fucked on the talent. I just don't get the way that the developers talked. Falcon Lost gear sets and Clear Skies gear sets should be flipped. Clear Skies seems like a shit fest. They didn't spend a lot of time, they just do shit together. Falcon Lost, bonuses complement talents, talents complement bonuses. They make sense. There's a set gear set. You're not done running for Tactician as a DPS. That's not his fucking role. Whereas in Clear Skies, you can run as a tank, which I'm assuming is going to be final measure because it has 2 tank bonuses, but a worthless talent, and run as a DPS. He only has protection. Why would you run as a DPS? But you can, because a talent doesn't segregate you. It doesn't push you towards being a tank, like Tacticians does. Overall, these gear sets in my mind are completely shit. They're what I expected from Falcon Lost. Falcon Lost was like a next level gen thing to me for gear sets. They made sense. They reminded me of like a Diablo gear set. They were well thought out. Clear Skies looks like they spent 30 minutes and were like, oh hey, let's put this talent with this talent. I mean, you have Hunter's Faith with a tanking ability, and then you have Final Measure with the grenade ability. They should be switched. Hunter's Faith is for damage to elites and stuff. Give him a grenade. He's an up-close DPS. Give the tank, Final Measure, the tanking talent, which is Hunter's Faith, which doesn't make any sense. Why would a hunter need a shit ton of armor if he's supposed to be a sniper lone wolf shit? Overall, guys, these gear sets are piss poor. I think they did a terrible job. I'm probably not going to play the new Incursion just because I don't think the gear sets are worth it. I thought the gear sets were definitely worth it in Falcon Lost Update Incursion. They felt worth it in 1.1. In this one, they just came kind of thrown together and are trying to get people to use weapons that aren't normally used. Not spending a lot of time to think how bonuses affect talents like they did in Falcon Lost. So overall, I would probably give this up a 3 out of 10 wolves. I use wolves instead of stars because I'm AvalancheWolf. I like wolves better. The poor thought out gear sets, the bonuses and talents that don't mix well together, the feeling like the developers should have switched gear sets. Like Falcon Lost seems like more what the developers wanted to go for from listening to them. Clear Skies seems kind of like a beta / run through of gear sets that should have been with Falcon Lost. I just think the gear sets overall, they were shit talents that didn't take a lot of thinking of. The roles aren't clearly defined. They just did a terrible job. If you disagree with me, go ahead and leave what you think in the comments below. I have everything written out, so if you want to go back a few seconds, maybe a minute, it will have everything listed side by side and everything. So go ahead and look at that. If you have any comments, questions, just want to say I'm wrong even, just go ahead and click there. Don't forget to press the subscribe button though, so you can listen to more rambling videos about reviews about this game, gear sets, and everything like that. Have a great day, guys.